Assassination Classroom was a hit with a lot of fans back in the day. The anime focused on a group of students who were supposed to take down their weird yellow octopus teacher, Koro-Sensei. The 2 seasons featured the students coming up with different plans to take him down for global safety. Most of their attempts failed, which led many fans wondering how one could take out Koro-Sensei. In today's video, we'll be talking about how to beat Assassination Classroom. Make sure to watch till the end to find out just how you can save the world. First up, observe him closely. The Classroom of Assassins is tasked with taking out Koro-Sensei before the term ends. Otherwise, they're looking at the end of the world. Given the high stakes, professional assassins also join in the hunt. Those like Ms. Irina Jelovich have years of experience, but they still fail to take down Koro-Sensei. Koro-Sensei always managed to slip out of their hands at a speed of Mach 20. In circumstances like these, it's the students who have the greatest advantage because Koro's one handicap is that he can't lay a hand on the children, meaning the kids can get super close to him and collect all kinds of information. The right way to do this would be Nagisa's way, who notes all his teacher's superpowers and quirks in his diary. Once you have the complete database, you can sit down to strategize. In the very first episode, we saw the kids open fire BB pellets as soon as he stepped into the classroom, but doing so seemed futile. Instead, it would be better if the kids came up with a strategy, one that involved launching a variety of attacks at the same time. They could use the data at hand and experiment accordingly, like judging how Sensei responds to different temperatures or different chemicals. They could also look into breaking his spirit with verbal abuse. All the while, someone should be tasked with recording the altercation. This would give the students a chance to go over the events more closely and draw more concrete conclusions. They could then devise more experiments and carry them out according to said conclusions. This would give birth to a cycle that could eventually end with a successful plan to take down Koro-Sensei. This particular strategy would also help in pinpointing Koro-Sensei's weaknesses, something Nagisa was able to do as he figured his teacher had an aversion for water. Nagisa noted the Koro-Sensei's color change when the weather was humid. He then put 2 and 2 together and had a new plan of attack. Up next, backstabbing. As mentioned before, Koro-Sensei has a soft spot for his students. He might get mad at them, but he would never lift a finger on the precious students of Class 3E. So, for anyone trying to kill him, it would be best to use that to their advantage. The children may have been tasked with taking out Koro-Sensei, but at the end of the day, he doesn't see them as a threat. We saw Nagisa use this to his benefit in the show when he sneaked up on Koro-Sensei under the pretense of getting his paper checked, all the while hiding a bomb under his shirt. The bomb did go off, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to get his teacher. Although a failed attempt, the idea is appreciable. The student's mistake was not having a second strategy in place. If they did, they would have probably been able to blindside him, as Koro-Sensei would have been too busy tending to the sacrificial lamb and would have never expected a second attack. And use every weakness possible. Given Koro-Sensei's many superpowers, it's understandable that many would think he has no weakness, but that's not true. He is in fact a sucker for adult magazines. Koro-Sensei can't seem to resist obscene images. Most would argue that this is not exactly a weakness, but we saw students of Class 3E make use of it on the show. One of them thought it would be a good idea to lure Koro-Sensei into a trap with adult magazines that, believe it or not, worked. They were able to trap him in the net. Unfortunately, they couldn't shoot him down, which isn't surprising since they decided to shoot him down with BB pellets one more time after they had already failed once. If they wanted the trap to work, they should have laced the net with a substance that could have taken out Koro-Sensei. With him completely incapacitated in the net, it would have been a piece of cake to put him down. After freeing himself from the net, Koro jumped onto the roof. Now, if the kids had already planned this, they could have gauged the distance between the pole from which the net was hanging and the roof. They would have been able to guess that's where Koro would have jumped to escape the student, and they could have had a team of students armed with BB pellet guns ready to ambush him on the roof. Another way to do this would be to divide the class into groups. One group goes out and gathers as many adult magazines that would be right up Koro-Sensei alley, while the second group will stay behind and prepare a room that the teacher can't escape from. They could fit the walls with anti-teacher fabric that doesn't allow Koro-Sensei to escape. In such a room, Koro-Sensei would be too absorbed in the magazines. It is highly unlikely that he would be aware of a student taking a good aim at his big round head at this moment. Next, don't play fair. In one of the episodes, we saw a new transfer student become a part of Class 3E. As soon as Itona joins the class, he asserts his dominance by showing Karma his palace and challenging Koro to a match right off the bat. As the match starts, Itona reveals that he's got tentacles just like Koro-Sensei, which makes the teacher visibly angry. The two then get around to a tentacle showdown, with Itoa succeeding in cutting off one of of the teacher's tentacles, thereby reducing his speed considerably. At this point, many are thinking that Aitona might just be able to kill Koro-Sensei, but they're all proven wrong as Koro-Sensei finishes off the fight by dodging his opponent's attack, trapping him in his shedded skin, and throwing him out of class. If there's one thing to learn from Aitona's failure, it's not to play fair. Koro-Sensei suspected that Aitona would stick to straight-up attacks and would not pull any under-the-table moves, which is why Aitona ended up losing. He could have easily approached the other students for a combined attack, and it would have been a shock for Koro-Sensei since he could never have predicted the two parties collaborating in such a short period of time. Aitona had managed to cut most of Koro's tentacles, reducing the possibility of him surviving the next attack by 40%. This would have been the perfect opportunity for the students to jump in and take down their teacher, even though it was supposed to be a one-on-one match. This can also be applied later in the show, when the kid had the chance to cut off 6 of Koro-Sensei's tentacles. The teacher had promised that whoever scored a top position in the final exam, he'd get a chance to cut off 1 tentacle. With the results announced, the students had managed to score 6 tentacles. Excited, they went to plan the assassination, for which they tied the teacher and surrounded him with water. Abiding by the agreement, they only cut off 6 tentacles, which seems like a waste of opportunity. They should have made full use of this golden chance to take down the global threat by cutting all off Koro-Sensei's tentacles. When you have the fate of the world in your hands, playing fair is hardly important. Teamwork is important. With that said, it's important that you attack Koro-Sensei in teams. From what we've seen, the teacher has quite a few cards up his sleeve, so if someone manages to find a weak spot all on his own, it's highly unlikely they'll be able to take down the yellow threat. The key to taking down Koro is when he least expects it, and the only way to create that opportunity is when you have multiple people in play. This would also give different people a chance to exploit the different weaknesses of Koro-Sensei all at the same time, not giving him a chance to regenerate. Next, do not get attached. One thing to not do when you're on a mission to assassinate Koro-Sensei is to form an emotional bond. Koro-Sensei isn't just a target for his students, but also for their teachers. He's fully committed to turning his students into their best possible selves. Seeing him so committed to his students' well-being might weaken a few assassins' hearts. This is why it's important to remind yourself that you have a great task at hand, that is, saving the entire world, and you can't let yourself fall astray. If you do, the consequences might just be dire. Did we miss any of Koro-Sensei's weaknesses? Do you have any other ideas on how to take down Koro-Sensei? If you do, let us know down in the comments section below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Bye now.